Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Starrapter. Welcome back to the channel. It's another week. It is the week of March 9th, and we have two Star Wars comics to talk about. And this is a pretty revelatory Star Wars comic moment that happens in Han Solo and Chewbacca. So we're going to jump into that. As you've read my title, you already know that Han's father is alive and he's well right before the events of A New Hope. What is that going to tell about our favorite smuggler, our favorite scoundrel? You'll have to watch to find out. Because first, I want to make sure you guys go ahead. If you like this channel, do subscribe and do leave a comment, a like if you like this video. And if you don't like this video, let me know how I can improve. So getting started, we have, as I mentioned, Han Solo and Chewbacca, a brand new Marvel ongoing comic series written by Mark Guggenheim, who is a very familiar name if you guys like watching Arrow, The Flash, and all those shows. He's had a hand in producing those. So we're getting into this story. It takes place a couple years before A New Hope. So could this be perhaps a Star Wars story successor in a way, or they're never going to make a series or movie about the sequels, but maybe we'll have this story that kind of fills in the gaps. Well, we have this story which is set up to be this mission that is given to Han and Chewie from Jabba to get this thing he wants. And basically he's going to pay them 500,000 credits alongside of Greedo, who is going to have to travel with them to get this information, to get this item, right? So it takes them to Corellia where this item is going to be. It's in a very like secure, safe. And then next thing you know, they come back to a bar on Corellia and Han is just drinking, trying to get his, thinking cap on. That's what he likes to do. And, well, he runs into this guy that works for the industry in that local area. And it turns out that Han is having a couple of drinks with this guy, kind of just, shooting just the crap with this guy. Next thing you know, he's like, oh, it's kind of weird how, my name is Han and he knows how his name, So long story short, this guy introduces himself as Owen, and then realizes that his son was named as Han, and then, oh my gosh, I've been looking for you, boy, I thought you were lost, or something like that. It's like crazy, because this is a huge moment for Han, because especially this far into his life, right? This is right before we see him in A New Hope a couple years before that. And we figured that Han had lost both of his parents, that he was an orphan, and he was working for, the White Worms and Lady Proxima and Solo Star Wars Story, and there with Qi'ra for a long amount of time. So what the heck has happened to where his father wasn't in the picture this entire time? This is going to be quite an interesting story, and what a way to hook the reader to get into issue number 2 with something like this. Like, no one ever could have imagined that in this story we would get, like, some big moment that could be transformative for Han Solo and how he acts and how he behaves as a scoundrel, as a smuggler. And, his father, he said, left him at 6 or something. So there's a huge time gap of what the heck could have been imprinted on Han Solo in that time. But I'm just very shocked this was something that we've seen. So this is going to be very, very interesting. But for as the rest of this first issue, I really liked it a lot. Had a lot of whiz bang, a lot of action. We've seen the Falcon doing some cool things, them escaping, them, Han dealing with Greedo. It's just always funny. There's a reference to him shooting first and all this. So really good story overall. Next up, we have Crimson Reign issue number 3. So this one is dealing with the Archivist, and their name is Sava Madeline's son, and she works for the University of Barlath and was a Force-sensitive type of person that was able to study the dark side of the Force. And this is before the Order 66, because this issue is all about her. And then next thing you know, Order 66 happens, and she loses her job because the Empire wants to cover up anything about the Force, right? They do not want any kind of Jedi uprising or anything like that. So she loses her job, and for years and years and years, she's just like working just at this random stall somewhere. And until one day, the stormtroopers try to get her for something. They, because she's a Force-sensitive person, are trying to get rid of her. The next thing you know, Qi'ra saves her life, and Qi'ra gives her this ultimate job of, hey, you're really good at research. I think that Yoda might still be alive because I don't believe the records of him being dead or whatever. I haven't heard of him being dead. I think he's still alive. So she gives this character, the Archivist, the mission to go find Yoda. And she's a really good investigator, this archivist, because she finds out, you know, that there's the blockade runner that Yoda might have been on. She finds out that that guy's in the Equestria jail, which is a really cool nod to the Dr. Aphra series, which we've seen an arc on that ship. It's a jail ship. And she gets this guy, archivist, and uses the thought dowser from the Dr. Aphra series to basically get the information from him. He gives her the sector name or the system name. She does the research and finds out that the High Republic, there was something with Yoda about there, and she detects the force sensitivity of the planet, which would mask Yoda's force sensitivity. So it makes sense that Yoda would live on this planet, so the Empire could never really find him, right? The Inquisitors and all that. And she goes to the same cave that Yoda basically had Luke in, and after that, it dawns on her that it's not worth giving up Yoda's location. And she is happy at the end of this, because this entire issue she's going on about, ever since she lost her job with Order 66, she has not been happy. But the interesting thing about this, if you're paying attention very closely, she has a lot of color in her face. She has like purplish hair, but as she comes out of the cave, she's like missing, like, you know, part of her, like her eye is like whited over, right? She has white hair now. She has no pigment in her skin. So going through that cave was a journey for her, and it changed her. And now she's still working for Qi'ra, and Qi'ra wanted Yoda to be basically an ally for Crimson Dawn to fight against the Emperor and Darth Vader. And obviously that doesn't happen, as we see in Return of the Jedi. But this is just an interesting part where this character has a nice issue. She starts off as a certain way and ends up at a different way. So it is a very nice self-contained story about the Archivist. And I really did enjoy all the like little references to things like the Ascended technology, to Old Republic records and stuff like that. So there's a lot of cool things hidden in this, a lot of ties to Dr. Aphra. But there you have it. Those were the two comics that came out this week. Some big revelations with Han Solo's backstory. What did you think about all these moments in these Star Wars comics? Let me know in the comment section down below. For more on Star Wars, I'm talking about the comics every single week that they come out. So if you liked my thoughts on these, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be notified if you hit that bell icon that I put a new video up, and you guys can watch it as soon as you can. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.